Hi, Adrian Ficcioni from Fatch Fitness. Today's video blog is a result of a discussion I had with a trainer in the gym last week. Now in the gym where I spend some time, I post up a tip of the week every week. And last week I put one up talking about pelvic tilting and deadlifts and squats. And in the tip I sort of said that you want to make sure that your pelvis is in either a neutral or slightly anterior pelvic tilt prior to moving into the position of a deadlift or a squat, because as you move into those ranges, if your hamstrings are tight, you will end up slowly moving into posterior pelvic tilt, which means that your lumbar spine will start to flex and then there is some load placed on that particular region. Now this trainer then said to me, hey, there is some view that having a flexed lumbar spine is totally fine and that we shouldn't be so concerned about having that position when we're doing those particular lifts. And so this is what today's video blog's about, is to try and address that particular comment. So a couple of things. Firstly, when I talk about the neutral position in the spine, or in particular the lumbar spine, that actually is a curve in the lumbar spine, as you can see in this image here. So that is a neutral position in the lumbar spine. Now, when you do bend over or try and squat or do a deadlift, then there will be some level of lumbar flexion. And what happens is that up to about 40 degrees is seen within range for the lumbar spine. But from an external viewpoint, as you can see from this image here, that looks like you've just got a flat back. So having some level of flexion is totally fine in the lumbar region because the lumbar spine is designed to tolerate that. It's when you then get beyond that 40 degrees and get into extreme lumbar flexion, particularly with load, that's when you get into trouble, such as you can see in this image here. Now, one other point which I think is interesting is if you look at the anatomy of the lumbar spine, 4 of the 5 ligaments that fully support the lumbar spine are all at the posterior or rear of the spine, and they're all designed to stop or minimize or control lumbar flexion. And so just through time, evolution has actually realized that excessive lumbar flexion is bad for our lower back, and the body has adapted in producing most of the ligamental support on the rear of the spine so that we don't get into too much flexion. Now, day to day, flexing through the lumbar spine is okay, and again, there's lots of research to show that the body can handle that. I'm talking about when you start to load up. Now, whether it's in a gym environment or you're just picking up day-to-day activities, you really do want to make sure you try and maintain a neutral spine, even a slightly anterior tilt moving into that position, because you will get pulled into a posterior tilt and lumbar flexion, and you want to minimize how much flexion that takes place.